Welcome to the Kitchen Table, a show dedicated to helping you escape diet culture, gain trust with food, honor your body, and live a brighter life. Hello. Welcome back to the Kitchen Table. On today's episode, I will be sharing 3 insights that I've learned about food and body stuff over 3 years of marriage. Yes, Tyler and I have been married for 3 years, and I know how hard it can be to kind of manage like food anxieties and body anxieties when we're with someone else, when we love someone else and we're inviting them into our life. And this can be really hard to manage a relationship while managing food and body stuff. And I have been doing it for 3 years. And so I'm going to share some insights that I've gleaned from my marriage with you. And so right at the top of the episode, I'm just going to give you 3 of the insights here, and then we'll unpack them. So my first tip is to communicate your needs. Super important to use your words. Super important. Second tip, your needs are unique and specific to you. And so remove comparison and judgment. Yes, removing comparison and judgment from your partner is essential. So then you can stay in your own lane when it comes to meeting your own needs. My third tip is to set boundaries and expect unconditional love regardless of food choices and body size. Yes, expect unconditional love regardless of food choices and body size. That is like my third, non-negotiable, and I'll explain that in just a moment. But before I unpack these, I want to ask you, quick favor, pull out your phone, go on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you get podcasts and hit that subscribe button. Then you will not miss an episode here at the Kitchen Table every Monday and Thursday. Monday, it's just you and me here. I love being with you here on Mondays for a little quick conversation here at the Kitchen Table. On Thursdays, I've got some great episodes lined up that you do not want to miss. So when you hit that subscribe button, you ensure that you won't miss an episode. You'll get a little notification when the podcast drops. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, also hit the subscribe button as well. And for anybody that doesn't currently watch on YouTube, you can see my face on YouTube talking right to you, having the conversation like we're literally here virtually at the kitchen table. So hop over on YouTube and hit subscribe there as well if you haven't already. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for either hitting subscribe or sharing this podcast with a friend or rating the podcast if you have a moment to do so as well. Leave an honest review after you listen to this episode. That means the most to me. So thank you so much for being here. Without further ado, I want to start with my first point of communicating our needs. This is so important. It seems so simple, like just tell them what you need. But I feel like it's so hard to communicate our needs. And it's something that Tyler, my husband, and I, we're still working on. This is still hard. You want to know why it's so hard, actually? Because it requires body attunement first. So we have to recognize our own needs before we can communicate them. And there are so many needs that we could communicate, right? Like our need for alone time, our need for socialization, our need for rest, our need for movement, our need for just like a mental health break, our need for entertainment. There's so many needs that we have. Our need for pleasure. There's so many needs that we have. It's really hard to attune to the body and specifically clearly articulate that need to somebody else. That's like mastery of the body. And communicating the need is like the gateway to honoring your body when you're in a relationship. Truly, because you and your partner, you're a team. And so your partner can actually help you meet your needs. Now, I was laughing with my sister the other day because she was telling me like, I want to date someone who can predict my needs before I say them to them. And okay, like how lovely would that be? Like you're just sensing how hungry I am. And then dinner just magically is on the table to match my perfect level of hunger, to meet my absolute satisfaction. No, that will never happen. Okay. So we need to be able to communicate our needs so that our partner can lovingly help us meet them. That is like the beauty of relationship. But when we don't communicate our needs, our expectations are not met and we're not able to nurture ourselves. So the first thing is we have to attune to our bodies. We talk about that every week on the show. But today I want to emphasize in this first tip to communicate your needs. I'll share with you that in my first, year probably of dating Tyler, I was so terrified to tell him that I was hungry. He would go from like coffee in the morning to dinner at night with nothing in between. And I would get hangry like midday. Like, say we were like out and about doing errands and doing like fun stuff, whatever. And, like he would just go the whole day without thinking about food, without saying anything about food. And I would question my own hunger so hard. Have you ever been in a situation like this where it's like you're feeling hungry, but you don't want to like say it because there's some like vulnerability that comes in saying, like, hey, I'm hungry, I need food. I don't know why I felt like it was so hard for me to say that, but it was. And I didn't tell him that I was hungry. I started like, putting little bars and stuff in my purse. I started eating like more before we went. I got like some anxiety before I would go like hang out with Tyler because I was like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to eat. But that was on me because I never said I was hungry. If I told Tyler that I was hungry, he would have gotten me food. It would have been like no problem. You know, he would have done whatever he could to make sure that I got what I needed. But if I never communicated that need, he never knew. I got hangry, tired, like it's spacey. I remember this on dates, like truly. It was just because I was hungry. And so over time, when I started to learn to attune to my body more and communicate my needs more, I've been able to meet those needs in a better, healthier way. And I've been able to ask great questions to him. I would say, how hungry are you? Are you hungry for a meal or a snack? What are you in the mood for right now? On a scale of 1 to 10, how hungry are you? Okay, so I'm like at a 4, you're like at a 6. We need to eat now. Where should we go? Like, then we can develop strategy to meet our own needs. Okay, so that is the beauty of being in a relationship, is that if you communicate your needs, you will get them met, probably in a really satisfying way, and your partner can help you do that. So that's really beautiful. The second tip that I have for you is recognizing that your needs are going to be different than your partner's needs. And I'm talking about needs, again, for like movement, rest, alone time, socializing, pleasure, entertainment. We have all sorts of needs, and they're going to be different per individual. And so this took me a long time to really understand in my relationship. I married a really active guy, and you might think this is overkill, but it's not for Tyler. He works out almost every day, and he engages in pretty rigorous, like intense physical activity, sometimes twice a day. You can imagine all of the laundry that I have to deal with. Okay, anyway, I do a lot of laundry. That's my job. I take that on. I actually, I'm really all caught up on laundry right now, so I'm feeling good about the laundry situation. Okay. Anyway, so when we first got married and he would get up and he'd go to yoga in the morning, I would lay in bed so conflicted because he would always invite me. And I like yoga. I enjoy movement. I enjoy waking up and going to move. I do enjoy that. Things have been different after having Amelia, for sure. We don't sleep in anymore at all. And engaging in activity has been a little bit tough. I have to like arrange babysitting if I want, whatever. Okay. So Tyler would get up and go to yoga, and I would be left with my thoughts about being sedentary, being inactive, criticizing myself. Why aren't I as active as Tyler is? Knowing that my body needed rest, knowing that movement didn't like feel like a good activity to do right now, I would really beat myself up comparing Tyler's physical activity level to my own. And that took me a long, I still struggle with this, because Tyler is so active that I'm always aware of how active he is and of how I'm not active in the same way. So I think it's normal to compare ourselves. I think that we're so close to our partners. We love them so much. We want them to see and know that we are engaging in healthy activities. We know that we can do it together with them, but also like we need to separate our own needs, like my need for rest. It should be just as important as Tyler's need for movement, right? So the both are great. And my idea of movement might look so different than Tyler's idea of movement. And what he needs for his own mental health is his own business. And what I need for my mental health is mine. And we can communicate those needs, going back to tip number 1. If we communicate those needs, then we'll be able to both like honor each other's needs in that way. So if I know that Tyler needs to go on a bike ride to like clear his mind, I can do what it takes for him to be able to do that. Like I make his priorities a priority for me. And he does the same for me. If I say, gosh, I need you to watch Amelia for a moment because I just need to take a moment to rest. I need 20 minutes to rest. I need an hour to do some work. He can prioritize that for me as well. And so, if we can communicate our needs, recognizing that they're individual, we can again help each other achieve those needs. Okay, and I've got to make this third tip quick because Amelia was just down for a nap and now I hear her like chitter chattering in her crib and she's like probably going to snap in the next couple of minutes if I don't get in there. Okay, so the third thing is true love, and this is the love that I want for you. This is the love that I want for you. And maybe this is too bold to say, but I'm going to say it. And it's that I want a love for you that is the sort of unconditional love that lasts regardless of change, especially change of body size and food choices. I think that we feel like our partners, they want the best for us. And so they might make comments about how we look or how we eat with good intentions. Okay. There is so much diet culture that, like a comment about weight loss or a comment about, the food choice, it can be rooted in love because they want you to be healthy and they want you to take care of yourself. Oh, but this can get really tricky because that's like your personal stuff, right? How you eat, how you look, that's like really core to you. And that's your authority to make those decisions, not for your partner, but for yourself. And so maybe this is twofold. One, on one hand, setting boundaries about conversation. What you eat is your own business. Keep your eyes on your own plate because only you know how to satisfy yourself truly with food. And how you look, that's going to change over time. We're going to age. We're going to look different a decade from now. We're going to look different 2 years from now, right? So our bodies are going to change. They're going to age. Marrying and loving based on appearance, that's so fleeting. And so what I want for you is that kind of unconditional love that lasts regardless of change and regardless of body change and body size and age. And regardless of the food choices that you make to satisfy your body. If your partner cares about your health, they can ask great questions and you can invite them into asking you questions about your health. But not just physical health, mental and emotional health as well, right? So we need to talk about all these factors into the conversation. And if you are doing some serious work on healing your relationships with food and body, I know this can be vulnerable, but inviting your partner into seeing the work that you're doing can be incredibly supportive. It can be incredibly supportive for your partner to know that you're sensitive to some comments about your body. Let them know that you're working on healing your relationship with your body regardless of the size. That's what your partner, if they truly love you, that's what they truly want for you, is to love and know how to truly care for yourself. And so if you're working on your relationship with your body, communicating that can invite your partner into understanding how you want your relationship with your body to be. And in turn, you can tell them how this will positively affect them. Because in a relationship, typically what's good for one person is good for the both. And typically when something's not good for one person, it impacts them both negatively. You are a team. And so sharing that, like, gosh, I'm really working on healing my relationship with food in my body so I can be better present in our relationship, so I can feel comfortable when I'm with you, so I can feel less sensitive and triggerable when it comes to specific things in conversation or when it comes to simply preparing meals or other activities as well. So thinking about this, it's really important to do steps 1 and 2 and 3 all together. These are great tips, truly. Like communicating your needs by first attuning to the body. You'll have to attune to your body to be able to communicate your needs. We talk about that all the time on the show, but that's truly number 1, communicating your needs. Second, realizing that your needs are unique and individual to you. So shedding the comparison through that, super important. 3, achieving a level of acceptance with yourself, inviting your partner into the relationship that you have with food in your body so that they can understand you and learn to love you unconditionally by accepting you as you are as well. We can't change our spouses. We can't change our spouses. We can't assume that they'll be able to predict our needs. No, they won't predict your needs for hunger and satisfaction and mental health and all of the things. They won't be able to predict these things. I know as women, we want the men and we want our partners to be able to predict our needs. And when they do, or if they ask, wow, that is a treasure, but they will not be able to meet your needs like you can. So you have to communicate them while understanding their individual and understanding what kind of love you want in your life. Do you want the kind of love that is contingent on your appearance, that is contingent on the way that you eat or move and live? Or do you want the sort of unconditional love that's like, however you look, however you eat, and however you live, I'm in this with you to help you hopefully live as your brightest, fullest expression of yourself. And in the times where you're not feeling like the fullest expression of yourself, I'm still there for you during those times as well. The shadowy moments, the times where you're not super proud of yourself. I want you to have a love that can hold all of those things, right? For good times and in bad, for sickness and in health. And truly, I've only been married for 3 years and I am not a relationship expert. But we've been through all of that already in 3 years. We've been through sickness. We've been, through the coronavirus pandemic, holy cats, we've been pregnancy. It felt like 9 months of sickness almost for me, like fatigue and all sorts of things, So like that hits home hard when you're in a relationship. All of that needs to happen even at the start. And you have the opportunity to grow together in your relationship as well through this and through doing your own individual work of healing your food and body stuff as well. So we can be a support for each other in this work. You and your partner can be a support for each other as you reconnect with yourself through food and through your body stuff. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know if this was helpful in any way. You can find me on Instagram at AliciaBrown_AB. I changed my Instagram handle, so it's not RDN. It's AliciaBrown_AB. You can find me on Instagram there, send me a DM, or also don't forget, subscribe, share this episode with anybody that you feel like is in a relationship that needs to hear this. And I so look forward to seeing you on Thursday's episode. I hope you have a really awesome Monday, and I will see you then.